Alright, quick video here on how to do your front main seal on a B series. But pretty much similar on most of the other earlier Hondas too, just like a lot of the things. So, normally the seal sits right in here. So I popped it out. Now you can get a seal tool that basically hooks one end, pushes on the other, gives it the leverage to pull out, or you can just use a big ass wrench. Bam, pops right out. So you can do it without damaging anything. It's pretty easy. You got to remove your knock sensor, I believe is this one right here. It's 2 bolts right on here. Then I'll show you in the block where you got these few bolts. So, and then you got there's a little oh damn, what is it called? Right here, the little filter system on the crankshaft, right below the crankshaft and the oil pan. So you're gonna have 2 bolts right there, 10 millimeter, and then it's gonna have 2 on top of the oil pump. You'll see them. So you have the 2 12 millimeter bolts right here, 10, 10, 10. That's it. 3, and then, and then 1 over here. So you got 4 10s, and you're gonna take that off, and there's no gasket. It's just Honda Bond. So you're gonna put some new Honda Bond on if you got it, or gasket material. I would highly suggest buying some Honda Bond. Get it right off of online, Amazon, eBay, or just go straight to the dealership. I'll do the install back just so you guys can see, but it's not too hard once you have the timing off and everything out of your way. Those are the 2 10 millimeter bolts I was talking about, to the little girl filter, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So you're gonna get your new seal. Match it up with the old one, make sure it's good. And my surface is pretty clean. I got a little bit of oil. What you want to make sure is there's no debris. I do see there's a little debris right there on that side, but the old oil is good. You want to have the old oil. So there isn't really any way you have to set this in there or anything. I mean, just it's obvious. It's got one way it can go in. You're gonna want to grab like a little rubber mallet or whatever you think you can use, socket, whatever, and you're gonna want to get it in there. Give me 1 second, I'll do that. I'll be back. And there you go. Just tapped it in slightly like this all the way around. Get it seated in there pretty good. Wipe it down a little bit, and you are good to go. Okay, so here it is back on. You're gonna want to take a rubber mallet, line it up, kind of pop it in, but first, make sure this seal gets around it, because it's going to try to push the seal out right around the edge here, because it's a very tight fit. So you don't want it ripping the seal, so you're going to want it to push against it a little bit, stretch it, take something small like a really tiny flathead screwdriver or a piece of plastic, something small, something that you're not going to tear with, and very easily just lift on the edges and let it slide right back. And what it will do is slide right in there. Don't push too hard, don't force it, or you will end up ripping it, and then you're gonna have the same problem you ended up with if it was leaking. And then you're gonna want to take either something flat that you can just kind of pound back in there very easily, hit it with a rubber mallet, and just seal it back around, make sure it's tight. Make sure you put on some RTV or some Honda Bond or whatever you decide to use around the edges. And then you're going to, I'll show you where these bolts are. One right there with a 12 millimeter head. One right there with a 12 millimeter head. And you're gonna have 4 with the 10 millimeter. There'll be one over here in the corner. It's kind of a pain in the ass to get to with the AC bracket, but you can get to it. Or just remove the AC bracket off for now if you want. If you're keeping your AC, if not, then just remove it and get rid of it. Right there. See that one? And right there. Now it's important to have this upside down. So just imagine, flipped up if you're doing this while in the car. And then you have one, and this one's important if you're keeping your knock sensor there. You're gonna want this because you're gonna want the clip for it. So So yep, that's it as far as those go. I'm not going to show a video of me tightening those down. Then you're going to have this little gasket here. You can reuse it as long as you didn't rip it or get it really dirty. It'll be fine to reuse. Trust me, I've done it several times. Never had a problem with it. And then bam, put that back on there, and then you're going to have 10mm bolt there, and the 2 nuts. And that's it. And pretty much tighten it all back down, and then you should be good to go as far as the oil pump goes.